In today's program, Architecture of Tashkent, synthesis of East and West, past and future. Monumental art is a calling card of Baku and Nur-Sultan. The architecture of many cities in the CIS over the past 30 years has changed dramatically. Next to the historic quarters, new buildings appeared that are fundamentally different in their appearance, new technologies, height, and design. In one of the past issues, we have already talked about this. Nevertheless, today we will return to this topic again, since it is in itself very diverse. We will take a tour of the three capitals of our region, and our first point will be Tashkent, the capital of Uzbekistan. Tashkent is unusual and beautiful. It combines the structures which are not quite characteristic of traditional local architecture, but in spite of that, they harmoniously blend into the overall image of the city. These buildings include the reception house of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Uzbekistan. This unique building was erected in 1891, and it was designed by the architects Alexei Benoit and Wilhelm Heinzelmann. It was originally the palace of Prince Romanov.
Дворец, конечно, это лучшее и самое интересное произведение.
The palace, of course, is the best and interesting work in the style of such European eclecticism, which at that time was very popular in Europe and in Russia. In St. Petersburg in this case. And so echoes of the style are reflected in the structure. While building the structures, builders paid great attention not only to architecture but also to landscape design.
Не только самой архитектуре, но и также ландшафтному дизайну.
The palace was built in the modern style for Prince Nicholas Romanov, the grandson of Nicholas I, and for a long time it was his residence.
Сам Романов, он был очень интересный.
Romanov himself was a very interesting person in terms of his aesthetic views. He traveled a lot in Europe and was very keen on European art. From Europe, he brought a lot of interesting sculptures and paintings. That is, art was his hobby. This house was Museum of European Art. Prince Romanov appreciated the Uzbek national art. In one of his rooms, there were works of our masters.
К узбекскому искусству, к нашему национальному. И в одной из комнат были представлены работы наших мастеров.
Talking about the architecture of Tashkent, it's impossible not to mention the Bolshoi Theater named after Alisher Navoiy. It was built in 1947, and today it is one of the most visited places of the Uzbek capital.
Оно было построено, значит, по проекту академика Шусева.
It was built according to the project of academician Shushev. There have been several projects of national importance, and his project won. And the theater itself, the troupe, were created in 1929. And so the construction began in 1939. And when World War II began, in 1941, the construction stopped. At the end of 1943 and early 1944, construction was resumed after the victory of the Soviet Army in the Battle of Stalingrad. On the face of the building hangs a memorial table. It attracts the attention of many tourists, especially from Japan. And all because, displaced in November 1945, Japanese prisoners of war from the Kuomintang Army took part in the construction of the theater. The interest of the Japanese tourists is big, since not all Japanese prisoners of war who built the theater return home alive. Their grandchildren and great-grandchildren also come and bow. We have a special memorial here on the facade. They come here, they must bow, and give their tribute to their memory. Despite the fact that the theater was designed by a Moscow architect, the whole building, and especially its interiors, is homage to the art of Uzbek architects and artisans.
На втором этаже, где стоит памятник Алишеру Наваи, вот этот
On the second floor, where there is a monument to Alisher Navai, there is a big hall. Everything is decorated with his works. Such works as Farhod and Shirin, Layli and Majnun, Sabar Sayor, Sadi Iskandari are reflected here. In every hall you can see paintings of landscapes of those regions painted with oil colors. Respectively, nature fits that region. Each of the 6 rooms has its own style, and each one reflects particular architecture of historical regions of Uzbekistan. In the Bukhara hall, Gancha ornaments are applied on mirror pilasters. In the decoration of the Samarkand hall, Gazgan marble applied in 2-layer carving Islimi. Khwarezm hall is decorated with panels that repeat the wood carving of the Khwarezm master carvers.
Бухарским залом занимался сам Usta Shirin Muradov.
Bukhara hall was made by the Usta Shirin Muradov himself, honorary academician of the USSR. He supervised Bukhara hall. There is a special thread used. It was applied for the first time. First, it was used in the country residence of the Emir of Bukhara. Usta Shirin Muradov, when he was young, used this technique there. Then he used it here, in our theater. Gancha ornaments are cut straight on the mirror. The theater square decorated with pedestrian boulevards and magnificent fountain. Since 1996, this building is under the auspices of UNESCO. This is a historical monument. Speaking about the sites of the Uzbek capital, it's impossible not to mention the legendary Hotel Uzbekistan, which in form resembles an open book. Hotel Uzbekistan is a symbol of the city of Tashkent. Among people, it affectionately called Uzbek. It was built in 1974. This is a prime example of the Soviet modernity. In that period, there were over 500 rooms in the hotel, but over time, standards have changed. We increased the rooms in size, and now there are about 312 rooms. The construction of the 17th century hotel in the Soviet years was called the local construction of the century. The architecture of this building is a combination of European and Eastern styles: marble, granite, coquina, glass, valuable woods. In the interiors, painting, stained glass, ceramics, wood carving, chasing on metal.
Очень удачное ее месторасположение этой гостиницы.
Hotel has a very good location. Moreover, modern methods and forms were used here for the open book style, facing the square. And this whole facade of the south and southwest, which we consider to be not very good in terms of climate, it requires eastern grid against the heat. And here was a very interesting scheme of this grid.
Восточную решетку под жару. Вот. И здесь была применена очень интересная схема этой решетки.
The architectural pearl of Tashkent can rightly be called the Huma Ice Complex. This is a huge and majestic oval-shaped building located on an area of 9 hectares. From a height, the arena resembles a fabulous bird. Huma is a symbol of happiness, love, and freedom. High-tech glass and metal complex combines modern architectural solutions, advanced technologies, and traditions of national architecture.
Сама форма, она, конечно, исходит от самой темы. Все-таки это стадион. Это крытый стадион, да. Будем говорить...
The very form of the building comes from the theme. Still, it's a stadium. This is an indoor stadium. The classic shell is a droplet, and the beam. This is like Colosseum, which stood and will stand in Rome. This is the droplet. It's an arena which can accommodate a big audience. The very theme of this structure implies that form, and this form is interpreted without major modifications.
И вот эта форма, она трактуется, ну, будем говорить, не очень сильно видоизменяется.
Ensure this architectural masterpiece is built with the latest technology. For Tashkent, this is not just another beautiful building. This is the first ice palace where it is planned to hold major national and international competitions, which means that Uzbek capital will soon receive new guests and will certainly win their hearts. Now it is the turn of the capital of Azerbaijan. In terms of architecture, Baku is a city of contrasts. Its modern facilities are harmoniously combined with the ancient quarters and historical monuments, and it's no coincidence that Baku is called the Paris of the Caucasus. But the architectural environment is not just buildings. Monumental decorative art and small architectural forms serve as additions to them. Moreover, they began to play a significant role in creating a comfortable environment and cultural development of people. And Baku is famous for its monumental art. Now we will see this for ourselves. The monumental art of Azerbaijan has ancient roots. Even in the Middle Ages, sculptural forms of stone began to appear on the territory of Baku and its vicinity. Much later, during the Soviet time, a school of art history opened in Azerbaijan. This gave a powerful impetus to the development of sculpture. If earlier foreign specialists were mainly engaged in it in the country, then, beginning from the 20th century, the first national talents appeared, thanks to whom, in the 1920s of the last century, monuments to famous personalities appeared in the city. The monument in front of which we stand was erected in honor of the famous composer Abdulmuslim Magamayev. It is installed in the most remarkable place of Baku in front of one of the main cultural centers, the State Philharmonic Society. The monument was established in 1987, and its subtle forms come from the architectural solutions of the building itself, which was built in the 20th century. At first it was the saloon of meetings of the Baku Council, later it became a philharmonic, and after the death of Muslim Magamayev the Senior, Philharmonic was named after him.
Azərbaycan musiqi tarixində, Azərbaycan musiqisində çox böyük bir səsə.
The author of this monument is a famous sculptor, folk artist Omar Ildarov. He uses a variety of genres in his work. The monument is made in the form of a buste. In fact, the transformation of the buste monument into monumental structure is a very complex creative process. The buste, created by Omar Ildarov on the marble pedestal, is equated with a grand monument, and he conveys the lyrical mood of the composer. A bouquet of flowers on a pedestal reflects the work of the composer. This sculpture is dedicated to Bahram Guru, one of the heroes of the famous poem Seven Beauties by Nizami Ganjavi. The history of its creation is interesting. In 1959, Alish Limberansky was appointed mayor of Baku, who remained in history as the most legendary mayor of the Azerbaijani capital. Thanks to him, the famous era of full renewal of the image of Baku began, turning it into a modern Europeanized city with an oriental flavor. So once Alish Limberansky announced a competition among artists and sculptors who needed to present their projects in order to decorate the appearance of the capital of Azerbaijan with various monuments and small architectural forms, not only professionals could participate in the competition. The notice was given to art students who had just begun to master the basics of the profession. Students Gorhmas Sujadinov, Albert Mustafayev and Aslan Rustamov also decided to take part in the competition and presented their project. When Alish Limberansky saw the sketch of Bahram Gur, he liked it so much that he immediately decided to install it not somewhere in the vicinity of the city, but in the center of the capital. Thus, in 1959, on one of the main squares of Baku, the opening of a monument called Bahram Gur Kills a Dragon took place. Later, students who are now well-known people presented many other projects, but this sculpture became their signature work.
Bu heykəl abidəsi məhz paytaxt Bakı şəhərində olmalıdır.
The monument, bearing a symbolic meaning and erected in water, demonstrates the victory of good over evil. It's attractive not only from an aesthetic point of view, its location has been chosen successfully. Therefore, this sculpture has become very popular and brought fame to its authors. It gives some kind of peace of mind. The monument is made of bronze. Its height is 4.6 meters. Around it there is a pool with a diameter of 20 meters. It is located on one of the most populous places, so the monument attracts a lot of attention. It can often be seen in various pictures of Baku, and tourists love Baku Gur very much.
Yəni ilklərdən kimi hesab edildi, sonrakı dövrlərdə
We continue our conversation with art historian Ziad Khan Aliyev in one of the busiest places in the city. There are many sculptures that were created by famous masters in different period of time. This building is the houses of the National Museum of Azerbaijani Literature, named after Nizami Ganjavi. A sketch of this work was prepared in 1941 for the 800th anniversary of the great poet. It is commensurate with the scale of this monument. The opening was planned in the same year, but because of the war, everything was cancelled. This became possible only after the end of the Second World War. And the majestic monument of Nizami Ganjavi was presented for the first time in 1949. Its author is the famous sculptor Fuat Abdurrahmanov. The building, which is the opposite to it, at the beginning of the last century functioned as a hotel. Later it became a museum. In front of it there are monuments to other famous writers and poets of Azerbaijan. All this composition is aimed at creating a poetic aura and poetic mood. Local intellectuals call this part of the city a park of literature.
Bu heykəllərin hər birinin yaranması 1938-ci ildə Nizami Gəncəvi Muzeyinin, yəni adına Gəncəvi Muzeyinin açılışında baş tutdu və Füzuli.
Each of these monuments has its own author. The word masters who came to literature after Nizami, Fuzuli, Vagif, Mirza Fatali Akhundzadeh, and Jafar Jabarli. It is they who tower here. Portraits of some of them have not reached our days. Therefore, it was important for sculptors to convey their images more realistically. For this, the principles of the art of reality were used in the creation of monument. Moreover, both Nizami and others, and it's no coincidence that all these works occupy a special place in the overall picture of the monumental art of the city of Baku.
Kompozisiyalarının dəzgah heykəltıraşlığı nümunələrinin müəllifi kimi tanınırdı.
It's a pity, but within the framework of one segment, it's difficult to tell about all the monuments and sculptures of the Azerbaijani capital. We took only the smallest part, but it's clear that all the monumental art of the city gives Baku a special aura. After all, it reflects the subtle images of human consciousness and reminds us about the eternity of art and spiritual beauty. And now we will go to the capital of Kazakhstan, the city of Nur-Sultan. I want to remind you that this is by far the youngest capital in the world. This year the city celebrates its special anniversary, 21 years. Everything here is striking in its charm, and this makes our capital one of the most modern and beloved cities in the world. The population of Nur-Sultan increases annually. Thousands of people become its residents. Like, for example, this nice girl who kindly agreed to become our guide. Meet the journalist Laula Askar. She has an internet blog about the capital of Kazakhstan where she talks about everything that a potential tourist might be interested in. Laula is from Almaty. 10 years ago, as she jokingly notes, she decided to replenish the number of newcomers to the new capital and connected her fate with this city. Today, at our request, she will tell about a small part of what is called monumental art and small architectural forms in Nur-Sultan.
Всем привет, меня зовут Лаула Аскар, и мы с вами находимся в столице.
Hello everyone, my name is Laula Askar, and we are in the capital of the Republic of Kazakhstan, the city of Nur-Sultan. Upon arrival in the capital of Kazakhstan, one of the sights that welcomes you is the magnificent triumphal arch Mangalikia. It was opened on December 16 on Independence Day in 2011 and was dedicated to the 20th anniversary of the independence of the Republic of Kazakhstan. Therefore, the height of the arch is 20 meters. You can see the statues of the elder sage and the mother.
Вы можете увидеть здесь статуи Аксакала-мудреца и женщины-матери.
The whole history of the formation of the Republic of Kazakhstan lies in the idea of the triumphal arch Mangalikia, which in Kazakh means eternal country. Inside, on the stairs, you can see various photos. Here is the hall of periodic exhibitions, sensory information kiosks. Before going up to the observation platform, the visitors are presented with the magnificent sculptures, Batyr guarding the day and Batyr guarding the night.
The
city is unique. Every time you walk around, you find new places, new sites, new buildings, new squares and parks, because the city is in constant.
Скверы, парки, потому что город застраивается.
Since within the framework of one segment it's impossible to show everything, we decided to go to the very heart of the city, to the boulevard, which in itself is an architectural masterpiece.
Мы находимся с вами на бульваре Нуржол. Это, так скажем, ось тысячелетия.
So we are Nurjol Boulevard. It is the axis of the millennium, which connects the old city with the new, the past with the future and the present.
Это пешая зона, поэтому
This is a pedestrian area, therefore it's very convenient to walk around, enjoy the city. You can look at many beautiful buildings that are located here. By the way, this boulevard, as well as the general plan of our city, was designed by the famous Japanese architect Kisho Kurokawa. The boulevard connects the residence of President Akorda and the shopping mall Khanshatyr. The length of the boulevard is almost 2 kilometers. And now we are walking in the central part, where beautiful buildings are located. Look at how beautiful our capital is.
Вот посмотрите, как красиво в нашей столице.
Here everything is impressive, while when you come closer to the Astana Bayturek monument, the feeling of the pride is just overwhelming.
Монумент Астана-Байтерек – это символ нашей столицы. Уникальное сооружение, очень красивое.
The monument Astana Bayturek is a symbol of our capital. This is a unique building, very beautiful. The height of this building is 97 meters, and this figure is not accidental, since in 1997 Kazakhstan announced that there will be a new capital in our country, which is located in the heart of Eurasia.
Столица, которая теперь находится в центре, в сердце Евразии. Вот этот вот уникальный золотой шар.
You know, this unique golden ball, which is located at an altitude of 97 meters, weighs 300 tons. Do you understand how grand the construction of this monument was?
Представить, насколько это было грандиозное строительство.
The idea of this monument is based on the Asian legend of the bird of happiness Samruk, which lays a golden egg in the crown of the tree of life. The golden ball at the top of the monument personifies the egg, and the tower itself symbolizes the tree. I recommend you to visit this unique building and see the city of Nur-Sultan from a bird's eye view.
Ну что ж, мы продолжаем нашу прогулку.
Well, we continue our walk along Nurjol Boulevard. Oh, look, what wonderful minions meet us.
Замечательные миньоны нас встречают.
The city is decorated here with such small architectural forms. various interesting characters, so to speak. Of course, they create a cheerful mood.
Интересное такое настроение веселое, да? Продолжаем нашу прогулку.
We continue our walk, and already we come to the round square, where there is a beautiful fountain, small architectural forms, where we'll see it for ourselves.
Формы, скульптуры. Мы сейчас все это с вами увидим.
Let's go. Decorative street art is currently booming in many cities around the world. As for the capital of Kazakhstan, it is rightfully included in the gallery of cities, the streets of which are dotted with unusual sights in the form of monuments, sculptures, small architectural forms.
Итак, мы с вами находимся в парке влюбленных.
So we are in the Park of Lovers, Jastar Sayabagha. It is also part of Nurjol Boulevard. And now I want to show you the unique attraction of our city. This is the fountain 16 Horseshoes. This is a gift from the Austrian Princess Gabriela von Habsburg to our capital. 16 horseshoes symbolize 4 horses which are directed in different directions of the world. It is a symbol of Kazakhstan's openness to the whole world. By the way, I want to know that in Nur-Sultan there are more than 120 fountains. The old city is no less beautiful than the left bank. And one of the most interesting monuments installed on the right bank is dedicated to the founders of the Kazakhanate, the great Janibek and Kirey, whose images symbolize the triumph and freedom, the birth of the new Khanate and the beginning of a new life. In the park, where there is a monument to our two Hans, there is a unique attraction that appeared in our city quite recently. This is a bench of desires. There is a sign, bench but fills desires. As you can see, this is the famous Van Gogh's Starry Sky. Well, you need to sit down and, of course, make a wish.
Ну что ж, загадали желание, идем дальше. А дальше музей...
Well, we made a wish and continue exploring our city. Ahead, there is the Museum of the First President of the Republic of Kazakhstan. This building is the first residence of Nur-Sultan Nazarbayev in the city of Astana, now Nur-Sultan.
Перед зданием вы увидите вот такую фотогалерею.
In front of the building, you can see a photo gallery. This is the history of the formation of an independent state, the history of the construction of our capital. Everything is in this huge photo gallery. One of the favorite places of the residents of Nur-Sultan is the embankment of the river Usil. The original and memorable architectural environment created here by the hands of masters is striking.
Мы с вами на набережной реки Ессель.
So we are with you on the embankments of the Usil River, where people come for a walk. There are also many interesting sights here. For example, a sculpture of a girl who reads a book. It is a romantic composition. I like it very much. Let's see what our heroine is reading.
Композиция, она мне тоже очень нравится, и на берегу реки Ессель. Посмотрим, что читает наша героиня.
Well, now another pride of the Kazakh capital is the famous Atyrau Bridge. From a distance, it resembles a huge miracle fish. Its scales, shimmering in the sun, form an amazing pattern. Inside the bridge, there is a world of incredible light and shadows. It is convenient not only for pedestrians, but also cyclists.
Вы посмотрите, какая красота!
Look, what a beauty, what a unique structure.
Уникальное сооружение. Этот мост длиною в 300 метров.
This bridge is 300 meters long. It connects the left and right banks of the capital. The pedestrian zone of the embankment with the Stolichny Park.
С парком столичным.
Unfortunately, it's impossible to show everything planned by our guide in Nur-Sultan within one segment. But if you are at least a little interested in the monumental art of the Kazakh capital, visit this beautiful city, rich with sightseeing places, and try to see everything with your own eyes. That's all for today. This was Colors of Asia. See you next time.